All right. First of all, I want to thank you for doing this, and I appreciate your service to our community.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Can you introduce yourself? Name, age, what you're like, if you have a rank or something like that, and how long you've been with the UFD.
Sure. Yeah, my name's AJ Sager. I'm a firefighter paramedic. So fire medic is the position I currently hold. I've been here for a little bit shy of 3 years. September will be my 3-year mark. I'm 28, which is sad that I had to think about that, but I did. Yeah, I think that answers the question.
Yeah. You have a family outside of here?
I do. Yep, I have a wife and son. He's 13 months. So
That's awesome.
I won't share my wife's age because she'd appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay, but you consider the firehouse, the men and women that you work with, as family?
Sure. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, they're for sure a second family for me. I kind of have 3 families. I have my family that I go home to at the end of shift. I have my church family, and then I have my family here, the guys that I share a house with. So
awesome. And what made you want to become a member of the fire department?
Yeah. It wasn't what I always wanted to do. Over time, when I was a teenager, kind of found that I wanted to do something in my life that intersected something new and exciting all the time, and really making a difference in people's lives when they absolutely needed it. So that's kind of what led to this through a roundabout way.
Have you always worked for UFD?
Nope. I started for the Waukee Fire Department. That's kind of my foot in the door. I went to Kirkwood and studied fire science, and then was a youth pastor for a few years, and then came over here in 2017 for Waukee, and then in 2019 got hired on the Urbandale Fire Department.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, love it. It's definitely a good place to be. We have some of the best men and women you could possibly hope to work for. So, what
is the primary goal of the fire department?
The primary goal, so it is to promote safety through education. Is what's one of our things, but in layman's term, basically we want to create a safe environment for people to live in and make them aware of how to be safe in their community. I'd say that's our big thing.
You guys are a team, so why is teamwork so important in the fire department?
Yeah, no one can do any part of this job completely by themselves, right? So we can't roll out the door without at least 2 people on an ambulance. We can't roll out the door with at least 3 people on a suppression unit. You cannot do this job on your own. So you better figure out how to work with people, because people's what you got.
So what's a suppression unit?
Suppression unit is our ladder trucks, our engines that would actually handle suppressing a fire, or our rescue truck, which is technically not a suppression unit, but a special unit that still would have to have a crew of at least 3.
I've heard the term defensive fire, or defensive when talking about fighting a fire. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
So that means we talk a lot here about risking a lot to save a lot, and then when there's nothing to save, not risking a lot to put people in harm's way. So defensive fire would be when it's clear that there's nothing to be gained by putting ourselves or others in harm's way. So it may be a situation where like the building is basically fully involved. Everything inside is already burned up. Now we're going to make sure that our people and the people around are safe and keep it from catching other buildings on fire. So primarily from the outside instead of going in.
Awesome. And what does fire attack mean?
Fire attack is, in my terms, directly putting forth effort to mitigate or extinguish the fire. That's essentially fire attack, in my opinion.
Tell me about somebody at the firehouse that you look up to.
There's a lot of people to look up to here, for sure. Kind of the easiest one probably to pick on is the head. Chief Holt is certainly someone to look up to. He does a really good job of making himself available and really continuing to try to have relationships with all of us, despite being a pretty fast-growing department. He really puts in effort there. Certainly my captain's another one as well, Derek Manser. I get to work with him very closely, so that's a lot of fun. And there's all kinds of peers as well, people who have been here for a little bit longer, who are on the line doing the same job, just have done it for a little bit longer. So certainly a lot of people to look up to.
Awesome. What are the core values of the UFD?
Yeah, the core values are pride. Let's see, pride duck is how someone taught me to remember. Pride was. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, instead of doing it like that,
sure.
There are many core values of the UFD.
You want me to list a few?
Or you can just tell me which one stands out to you and why. because I'll put.
Integrity is one of our big ones. That's
Well, let me have you start over in just a second. I'm going to put them in the video. I'm going to put the core values in the video.
Perfect.
Whether I have them flying across or I have them blast out.
Perfect.
Whatever. So, and when you give me one, I'll pop that one. So, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. One of the core values for our organization is integrity. So one of the ways to define integrity is doing the right thing regardless of the situation, regardless of who's watching, continuing to do the right thing.
I love it. A couple questions from kids, if you don't mind.
I love that. It's my favorite part of the job.
How hot is it in your gear and how much does it weigh?
Too hot. So our gear keeps us safe, but it doesn't necessarily care about how comfortable we are. So the department provides us with great gear, but that doesn't help my sweat problem. So
Is it hot?
It's
hot. I mean, how heavy is it?
how heavy it is? It's pretty heavy. They're always making advances to try to make our gear more comfortable, but it's pretty heavy. With everything, you're certainly looking, with air pack and a tool in your hand, you're looking at probably 60-ish pounds extra, depending on the tool and the air pack and a few other things you're bringing with you.
Who's your favorite football team?
I'm saying, not St. Louis. I'm the Los Angeles Rams fan. So,
All right. Congratulations on the Super Bowl.
thank you. It's a big one for us.
What do you do when you're not fighting fires?
Try to spend a lot of time at home. So I, like we talked about earlier, I'm pretty blessed to have a great family. So try to spend time with them, and then time outside. My wife and I really like hiking and like bike riding and canoeing and stuff like that. So those are the things we try to fill up our time with.
Last question.
Hit me with it.
Can you take me for a ride in your fire truck?
That's an excellent question. We can. There's just a way you have to go about it. So we do have programs. If you ever like to come and take a visit and want to schedule something like that, we can certainly do that. We also have a ride-along program that we have here. So stop by and come talk to the folks in the administrative office. We'd be happy to set something up. So
Thank you very much.
awesome.